Hello?
Hello, bro. Do you want to hang out this weekend? We can get super drunk and fucked up, and let's go to the club, bro. Eh? Hello?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Julian Seitz. Back at it again for another discussion. I don't know why I keep doing these videos, but there's just something interesting about them that I want to keep doing. And today's topic is going to be energy. Now, I was thinking about this last night while I was going to sleep. And now the reason why I want to be talking about energy today and what the video is all about is diverting your energy in the right places, because something that I have began to realize is energy is kind of your currency. Beyond money and all that stuff, a more broad term of currency. We can exchange our energy for things in life. And whether that's fulfillment or not, our energy goes in many different places every single day. Starting from when we wake up to when we go to sleep, we have to decide what do you want to focus on in that day. As somebody who gets very easily distracted by things going on, along with being generally overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that needs to be done all the time, it's difficult sometimes to know where your energy should go. As I talked about in one of the videos prior to this, it's mostly about values and what you want to achieve, but sometimes it's super easy to just get lost in that. This also kind of relates to the last video I did as well, with social pressures kind of making you feel like you have to do things sometimes even when you don't really want to. You know that it's very exhausting. And now, why exactly does it feel this way? Why is it so hard to know what to put your energy into? And I think what it really stems from is just the amount of options that we have nowadays, the amount of possibilities. There's just so much that you can do, so much that needs to be done, and so much that probably will never be done. Life is full of dreams and aspirations and desires, and yet a lot of the time we don't get to achieve most of those things. We're too busy working, or we're too busy studying, or it's hard to know where exactly to put your energy into. And you'll notice what leads to a feeling of absolute exhaustion is when your energy is not going anywhere that makes you enjoy it. Think about it like this. Let's say you go to a store and you buy a TV and you spend like $2,000 on it. You're expecting it to be like this amazing TV, you know, like super awesome TV. And then you get home, you plug it in, and it just kind of, I don't know, you're like, why did I spend $2,000 on this? I could have only spent like $500 on this and probably would have gotten a pretty similar thing. And in this case, let's say there's no return policy, there's no refunds allowed. You're stuck with it. You're stuck with that decision that you made where you kind of wasted your money. And it's similar to life, you know, you can waste your energy in so many different ways. And honestly, wasting your energy is important sometimes to know where it's actually valuable to put your energy in the first place. I would never really consider doing something you don't want to do a complete waste, because it helps you understand what it is that you actually do enjoy, what you actually get out of things. And if these are responsibilities of yours that you do have to do, that's a completely different story. Responsibilities, sometimes they're exhausting, but it's a part of life, and it's a part of the things that we have to do on a daily basis. What I'm talking about is the things within our control. If you find yourself doing something just for the sake of keeping yourself busy, ask yourself why that is. I would honestly say any creative outlet that you really enjoy doing is a valuable use of your energy. It's kind of something that makes you feel really good. You're strengthening your skills. There's a lot of cognitive work there. It's usually fulfilling. If it feels like a chore, you're probably not going to do it long term. A lot of the time what I get lost in is with my energy is I focus very attentively at one specific thing for a few given days, and that's something that does lead to burnout for me. I get super motivated to do one thing. I do it a bunch. I make it as good as I possibly can if the case is like I'm making something, or I put all my energy into something, and then eventually I kind of realize like I don't really think I want to do this anymore. And you know what, that's perfectly fine. I actually think that is a strength, giving up on things sometimes when you realize they're not really for you. They're just like, why would I keep doing this just for the sake of doing it? So I'd honestly say the message of this video is just, I want you to think about the things that you do on a regular basis and ask yourself if you get what you want out of them. Does it feel like a waste of your time? Does it feel like a waste of your energy? Do they exhaust you in a bad way? Because obviously there's exercise. Cardio is something that can get you quite tired. However, that's really good for you. You get a good feeling after. It might not feel like a waste of energy, even though it makes you feel a bit exhausted afterwards. But what we're really talking about today are the things that take energy away from you and do not give anything back. Those are the things that we need to identify, and we need to figure out why we're doing them in the first place. What is the reason? When we're figuring out why we're doing them, you might think, I don't know, like I don't really know why I'm doing this. It's good to think deeply about it. Is there short-term enjoyment that you get out of it? Does it make you feel better about yourself overall because of societal pressures, or because you're filling the needs of somebody else? What is the reason? Why are you doing this thing that you don't really want to be doing? And so I ask you next, how many of these things do you have during the day? How many things do you do on a regular basis that you don't really get why you do? You don't really get why you're diverting your energy into. It could be something as simple as scrolling on your phone. You know, when you wake up, you're scrolling through your phone. And sometimes when I do this, I start to think to myself, like, why am I doing this? Like, what am I even actually getting out of this? There's nothing. I'm wasting time. And even though something as simple and maybe monotonous as scrolling on your phone would sound, your brain processes information all day long. And if there's an excess, like something like scrolling through your phone, this can still kind of exhaust you mentally, even if you don't really think it would. I have a question for you. If you don't believe me, when you're scrolling your phone, do you usually end up feeling refreshed, energized, or better off after having done that? Occasionally, yeah, you'll see a funny video and you'll be like, that's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. But is most of the stuff that you see on there, is it interesting even to you at all? Or are you just swiping? Are you just trying to fill your boredom? And boredom's a big thing of why we kind of just throw away our energy, because it's like, I mean, I don't want to just be doing nothing. I might as well be doing something with my time, right? I don't really think that's necessarily true. I think everybody needs that time to decompress, you know, and it doesn't always have to be away from everyone. You don't have to be alone to do this, but it could just be winding down, taking things a bit slower. It's useful when you have these periods of time. It gives you a lot of time to think about things, what matters to you. Along with this, it also helps you feel less overwhelmed by everything. Having even just a short break is a lot better than working all the time constantly. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with hard work. I think that's just a normal part of life, is working hard. Everybody works hard. If you don't work hard, you're probably lying to yourself. There's something you do work hard at. The other thing is we've kind of almost conditioned ourselves to give away our energy for free to things, whether it be social media, whether it be to never saying no to your friends when they ask you to go out, even though you kind of just feel like chilling that day, but you do it anyway because it's your friends. But honestly, I think the best part is learning to say no to things that you don't really care for, you don't really want to do, or you'd rather do some other time. In some ways, this sounds avoidant or as if like you are isolating yourself, but I honestly think it's very useful sometimes to really just have time yourself, to be bored, to be unsure of what you want to do next, because this gives us the ability to explore what we want to do, why we want to do these things. It gives us time to think. It gives us time to process what we've seen throughout the day. Because if you're just living your life constantly all the time, one thing after the other, there's not really any time to stop and think about things. And this is why time kind of starts to feel like it's going so fast, because there's just so much going on all the time. You don't really have time to stop and think. So I urge you guys, think. Today, if you can, if not today, another day, dedicate like 20 minutes just to thinking, just to relaxing, and in whatever way you can. No, stimuli, nothing excessive, just something chill. Maybe put on like a relaxing song and just sit back in your chair and just think. Where's your energy going? Where do you want it to go? How do you feel good about using your energy? And save your energy. Use it for a worthwhile investment.